So this is a standing session for those times when you don't want to get down on the floor, or maybe you can't get down on the floor but you still want to move your body. So I hope you enjoy. So we're going to start with our alignment. So have your feet about hip width apart. Have a look at the outside edges of your feet and try and get them as straight as you possibly can. And then backing up your weight through your heels so that you can lift and just give your toes a wriggle, just to show you've not got all of your weight forwards on your toes. Trying to find that neutral pelvis, so we're not tucking it under and we're not tipping it all the way forwards. It's kind of halfway between those 2 points, and let your ribs just relax down. Arms down by your sides, looking into the distance and growing tall through the top of your head. Let's just take a few breaths here. Really deep breath in, get as much air in as you can, and then a long, slow exhale. Let's do that a few times. Deep breath. And as you exhale, letting go of any tension, any tightness, anything that you're holding on to. Let's do that one more time. And fully exhale. Starting to turn your head now, side to side. So gently move side to side. Just notice how it feels, whether it's the same on both sides, whether one side feels a little bit more stiff than the other. You can move as quickly or as slowly as you like. Notice if your shoulders are starting to roll up around your ears, try and keep your shoulders down. And then as you come through centre this time, hold it there. Let's go for some shoulder rolls now. So really trying to get as much movement through your shoulders as you can, but let your arms be floppy, so your arms are just hanging. Often the elbows will want to do the movement, and that's to kind of compensate for stiffness in the shoulder. Whereas if we take the elbows out and just move the shoulders, we're getting as much movement there as possible. Let's reverse those circles and go the other way. Get everything moving this morning. And we're going to do some twists now. So floating your arms up out to the front, palms facing down. We're going to do our bow and arrow arms. So keeping your hips facing forwards, you're going to bend one elbow and twist your upper body, following that elbow with your head, and then bring it back in through centre. We're going to do the same on the other side. So just twisting through your upper body, keeping your lower body super still. Keep switching sides. And again, you're just trying to wring every last millimetre of movement out. Keep checking with your rib cage, make sure that you aren't thrusting your rib cage forwards and creating that shear on your lower back. We want to keep everything in really good alignment. Here's a little bit of a twist, or maybe a lot of a twist. All right, and then as you finish this last one, just allow your arms to drop down. Let's just swing our arms here. Just swing your arms together. Let's do opposite arms. Again, just getting everything moving. All right, let that go. We're going to take our arms up towards the ceiling. Now palms are going to face in towards each other for some side bends. We're going to inhale, grow super tall, and as you exhale, take it over into a side bend. Inhale as you come back to the ceiling, growing tall again, and exhale to take it over. Keep going. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, over you go. Again, just checking in, see how it feels. And as you come up through centre this time, just let your arms go all the way down. Grab your half dome now. Let's do a calf stretch. So half dome or rolled up towel. Place it down on the floor. Top of your foot to the top of your dome, heel down on the floor, and then step your other leg to hip width. Backing your weight up, so you want your weight through the heel of the leg that's on the dome. And then take a minute to do your scan again here. So just make sure that you're not gripping and holding tension in your jaw, in your shoulders, making sure that those ribs haven't lifted, keeping your ribs relaxed and down. Checking the fronts of your thighs. This is a really common place to hold a lot of tightness. Seeing if you can relax the fronts of your thighs. And again, taking a few deep breaths here. once that initial stretch sensation has started to ease a little bit, maybe see if you can step your free leg a little bit further forwards, and if you can't, it doesn't matter, step it back. You don't want to feel like you're going to fall over backwards. Couple more breaths. And then we're going to just switch to the other side. So again, stepping your other foot to the top of the dome, heel down, hip width. Just take a moment to scan through your body again, just making sure that there's nowhere that's decided it wants to grip really tight. Keeping your weight back through the heel of the leg that's on the dome. And when you feel ready, when that stretch just doesn't feel quite as intense, your body feels quite comfortable, you're just going to see if you can maybe step that free leg a little bit further forwards. But it doesn't matter at all if you're as far as you are, as far as you can go today. Don't try and force anything. We're going to do both feet together on the dome this time, and then we're going to fold forward. So I'm just going to turn to the side. Hey, shh. Both feet up, heels down, and then hinging forward. You can rest your hands on your thighs. Remember, you're looking for that flat back. You don't want to be kind of round in your back here. So think about sticking your butt out and nice long spine. Hold for a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, come up and out of that. Just popping your half down to the side. We are going to come back to it shortly, so just keep it nearby. But we're going to do our top of the foot stretch next. So you're going to take one leg behind. You're going to tuck your toes under and resting on the top of your foot. Remember, if you need to go near a wall to hold on to, feel free. And standing as tall as you can here. So watching to see whether your body's trying to get you to lean forwards, or if it's trying to bend that back leg to try and get away from the stretch. Try and have that leg as straight as you can. And then we're going to switch and do the same on the other side. So taking the other leg back this time. It's much nicer doing it on your mat or on carpet. It's not quite the same doing it on a hard floor, but it is really good for you. All right, holding here. Again, just notice, is it different this side to the other side? Checking for tension, checking your jaw. All right, let it go. Give your legs a little shake out. So we're going to do some heel raises next. So feet hip width apart again. Have a look at those outside edges of your feet and try and get them as straight as you can. You're going to rise up onto the balls of your feet and then lower down with control. So the whole thing is really slow and controlled. Again, if you need to be near a wall for support, feel free to go near a wall, grab a chair, whatever you need to do. So lifting and lowering. Keeping your ankles steady. Noticing that temptation for your ankles to roll out to the side. You're going to keep them nice and stable. Good. So staying with this heel raise, we're going to step one leg forwards. And we're going to do heel raises here. So don't worry too much about your back foot. If you can't get your back heel all the way down, don't worry too much about it. Try, but if it doesn't go all the way down, don't worry too much. And again, if you need something to feel balance, feel free. Two more on this side. switching legs. And the leg forwards this time. And again, coming up. Might be completely different now. Ooh. Maybe not coming up quite as high on that front foot this time, maybe. All right, and then let it go, give your legs a little shake out. Oh, that reaches different parts, doesn't it? Just switching that up a little bit. Go back to feet hip width, both heel raises at the same time, up and down. Let's add some arms. As your heels lift, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. As you lower, lower your arms and lower your heels. Let's go again. Reach, grow tall, and lower with control. One more time. And lower. Again, just give your legs a little shake out. Maybe a little pedal, a little prance. Okay, working your legs super hard today. We're going to do some pelvic lifting next. So feet hip width. Outside edges of both feet super straight, best you can. Pressing all of your weight down into that one leg, allowing the other leg to float away from the floor. And then lowering back down. So remember, it's the side of the hip that's really working. It's your glutes, it's your lateral hip muscles that are working to pull this side of your pelvis down so the other side floats up. So you're not using your back. So if you feel like you're just hiking this hip up and using the muscles of your back, then try and let your back relax. Get your weight back through that heel and see if you can find your butt muscles there. And if you want to kind of work on this even more, don't let that foot touch the floor. Keep it up the whole time so you're lifting and lowering but not fully touching the floor. And if you have a block, you can stand on a block and do it so that you've got more range of movement. Feel free to do it on a block if you wish. So compensations that you might find when you're doing the pelvic lifts, one of them is kind of leaning to make it easy so you've not got all of your body weight loaded onto that hip. Another one is to kind of bend this knee so that you're not having to lift quite as high. Weight coming forwards in your foot is another one. Really want to try and keep that weight backed up so that we're really isolating and working these muscles. Let's switch sides. We've done quite a lot on that side. Give it a little shake if you need to, and then straight onto the other side, same thing. It's really, really common to have one side that's much stronger than the other. And you always tend to do your best side first. This is my weaker side. I'm a bit more wobbly on this side. I just find it much more difficult on this side. So notice for you, is it different? Are you doing any of those little compensations to try and make it easier? And as always, you can go near a wall. Sometimes just having a fingertip on the wall just helps to, it's probably a psychological thing that you're not going to fall. Again, if you don't want to tap your foot down, you can keep that foot hovering off the floor the whole time. It's up to you. And if you want to stand on a block to give you some more height, then absolutely. But so important that we have this strength in our lateral hip muscles and in our glutes, because these are the guys that support our pelvis, and we need that support for every step we take when we're walking. If you don't have the strength to hold all of your body weight on one leg and lift high enough for that leg to swing through, then with every step you take, you're collapsing in. All right, give it a little shake out. We're going to go back to the first side again. We're going to do our little list again, so find that pelvic list, hold it. Can you just hold it with that foot hovering away from the floor? How about if you swing that leg just a little bit, doesn't need to be big, and you can hold on if you need to. Try and keep your pelvis still so that your whole body's not going with the leg, it's just the leg moving. Should we try that on the other side? Again, find your list and just hold it for a moment. Just holding still is really good for building strength and stamina. And then see if you can swing that leg. Have you managed to lift high enough so that you can clear the floor with that leg? Alright, And then let's give them a shake out. Are you feeling your legs this morning? Okay, back to hip width. We're going to do some knee raises next. So take a moment to think about the position of your pelvis, think about your hip bones, and we're going to lift one knee and lower it down. We're going to keep switching sides, but what I want you to notice is that as you lift your knee, that you're not shifting your hip. So we don't want one side of the pelvis lifting now. We want to keep it super still. We've got that strength in these lateral hips to hold the pelvis still while we move the legs. So switching side to side. If you think about each time you put your foot down, having your weight back through your heel, again, you're going to feel your bottom, feel the back of your thighs working hard to support you. And they're big, strong muscles. That's absolutely their job. All right. As you lift your knee this time, we're going to hold it there. Keeping your pelvis still, can you take that knee out to the side and bring it back in and lower it down? Try the other side, so the knee comes up, hold it, take it out, bring it back in and lower it down. Doesn't matter how far out you take your knee, it's more important that your pelvis doesn't go with it. Keep switching sides. Good, so really good for mobility of your hips and obviously for strength. There's a lot of leg stuff in this class, obviously because we're standing. Keep going nice and stable through your pelvis. And as you bring your leg up this time, keeping your pelvis still, we're going to hold. We're going to draw circles with the knee. Keeping the pelvis super still, circling the thigh bone in the hip socket. We're going to do about 5 in each direction and reverse. And then we're going to place that foot down. We're going to do the same on the other side, nice and stable. Leg comes up and again circling that knee. Trying to keep as stable as you can. Remember, you can hold on if you need to. Reverse, go the other way. And place your foot down. Give your legs a little shake out, little break. All right, take your legs wide now, super wide, and turn your toes out. When you're ready, we're going to do some little squats here. Squat down and come back up. Keep going. Just finding the position that feels comfortable for you. You can go as deep in the squat as you like, or you can make it small. Making sure your knees go out towards your little toe and they're not rolling in towards your big toe. We're going to hold that squat. Find a comfortable position, knees again out towards your little toe, and we're going to hold that squat. Ribs stay in. Hold in here, breathe. I'm going to add some arms, floating both arms up, palms forward, one arm up, one arm down, and we're going to switch. Keep going, staying in your squat position, ribs in, reach, and reach, and reach. Keep going, are those legs burning yet? Make sure you're breathing, and up we come. All right, we're going to stay in this wide squat position, squat down again, and up. Let's just do a couple of squats here. I say a couple, we always do about 5, and then again, we're going to take the arms forwards. This time you're going to squat and open your arms out, and then bring the hands together to stand. Open and in. Use your breath. Inhale as you open out and exhale to come back in. If that doesn't make sense to you, just keep breathing. Lowering your arms down. Now give everything a little wriggle and release. We're going to do our little breathing cycle now. Interlace your fingers. We're going to inhale as we bring the palms towards the chin. We're going to exhale as we press the hands down and squat. Inhale, sweep the arms forwards and up towards the ceiling, and then exhale as you release and come all the way back. Your fingers, inhale, we lift. Exhale, we press and squat. Inhale, sweep up and to the ceiling, and then exhale to release. Let's do a couple more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squat. Inhale, reach. And exhale, last one. Sweep forwards and up. And release and come all the way down. Okay, bring your legs in. Bring your legs just a little shake out. We're going to go back to feet hip width apart again. Straight outside edges of your feet. And we're just going to fold forwards at the hip and come back up to standing. Keeping your weight back through your heels. So again, we're thinking about using the back of our leg, using your glutes and hamstrings. Keeping those ribs into your body so you're not leading with the ribs, you're not creating that shear of your lower back. Good. So we're going to stay with this little hip hinge, but we're going to take one leg forwards again and hinge. So you're not moving your spine at all, you're just folding at the hip. Might feel like quite a big stretch down the back of this front leg. Let's switch legs. So taking the other leg forwards this time. And again, hinging forwards. Notice as you hinge forwards whether your pelvis is trying to twist. Can you keep those hip bones pointing down towards the floor? Last two. Last one. Alright, and we're going to go back to our calf stretch. So grab your half dome or your folded towel again, roll the towel again. And go back to your calf stretch. So top of the foot to the top of the dome, heel down, stepping your other leg to hip width. Now immediately when you go into your normal position, because you've already done some calf stretch, you might feel that you can take that free leg a little bit further forward. So find the position that feels okay for you. Have a look at the outside edge of the foot that's on the dome. Have that as straight as you can. And just hold here for a couple of breaths. Ribs down. And we're going to add that hip hinge here. So keeping your back straight, you're going to just fold forwards at your hip. You can rest your hands on your thighs if you wish. You can let your head hang if you want to. If you don't like this, you can stay standing tall, but it just changes it up a little bit. And then when you're ready, we're going to come up and out of that, and we're just going to do the same on the other side. Again, find your calf stretch position first. See where you're happy, where you can maintain that really good alignment. Have a look at the outside edge of your foot that's on the dome. Try and have that as straight as you can. And if you're happy there, you can try that. Again, hip hinge, folding forwards. Or you can stay standing tall if you prefer. Hold for a few breaths. Notice if your pelvis is trying to twist or drop on one side, anything it's trying to do. Try and keep both hip bones pointing down at the floor. And then when you're ready, come up and out of that. Just give your legs a little shake again. You can pop your half down to the side just so that you're not going to trip over it. Okay. So we're going to have a little think about our shoulders now. So we're just going to have feet about hip width apart, just so that you're maintaining that good alignment as always. We want our weight back through our heels, neutral pelvis, you know those alignment points. We're going to take our knuckles, make little fists, and bring your knuckles just to the sides of your head, just to your temples. And then bring your elbows together in front and open out. So just find a position that works for you. Don't worry too much about your hand position, but just elbows coming forwards and open out. Now, if you just start moving with this, you will find that your shoulder blades are moving on your back. So as your elbows come together, your shoulder blades are going to go wide. And then as your elbows open out, your shoulder blades are going to come together in your back. So just kind of find that movement here. All right, and as you open out this time, hold those open elbows and we're going to twist to one side. We're going to come back in through centre, close your elbows, open your elbows, and we're going to twist to the other side. Come back in. So we're just adding a twist each time we open out, and we're just switching sides. Good. All right, one more to each side. Come back in, just lower your arms down for a minute, give your shoulders a little circle, just releasing any tension, because often you'll start to find that it will start to sneak up. So let your shoulders go, let your head go, just move everything around a little bit. Okay, maybe take your legs a little bit wider. We're going to do that opening out again of the elbows. This time as you open your elbow out, we're going to bring one knee up and do a little side bend to try and meet that elbow. You can make this movement as big or as small as you like, okay? So again, bring your hands to the side of your head. Bring your elbows together in front. As you open your elbows out, we're going to take all of our weight onto one leg. We're going to bring the other leg up and we're going to do a little side bend and then lower that leg down. Doesn't have to touch. Close, open, lift, little side bend. Go as quickly or as slowly as you like. If you don't like the knee lift, you can just stay with the side bend. As you open the elbows out, you can just do a side bend if you wish. Or you can add the knee lift side bend. Notice if you're using momentum, so are you having to like move super quick to get that leg back down, or can you move super slow and controlled? Do one more on each side. Alright, and as you lower that leg this time, lower your arms. Let's swing our arms again. And let's do those alternate arm swings. Nice. Take your hands behind your back and interlace your fingers behind your back. Let your hands rest down on your bottom. Squeeze your shoulder blades together in your back, and can you lift your hands away from your bottom? Try not to lift the ribs, so keeping your ribs down. As you lift those arms, squeezing your shoulder blades together and then lower down. Let's do that again. Squeeze your shoulder blades, ribs stay down, arms lift and release. Do that one more time. Squeeze the shoulder blades and lift your arms and release. Give them a little shake. Okay, grab your block, your book, your cushion, whatever you've got. And just hold it in one hand. You can hold it properly rather than balancing it. Okay, and then we're going to take that block out to the side and we're going to lift and lower that arm. Now obviously, depending on the weight of your book or your block, whatever you're holding, will make a difference. But what I want you to notice is, can you keep this part of your shoulder relaxed and down, or as you lift your arm, is it trying to come up? See if you can keep it down. And sometimes it's useful to use your other hand on there just to feel what's going on, just to make sure that it's staying down and just to remind you that it's staying down. How about if you bring it in front and you lower and lift in front? So you don't have to bring that shoulder up to lift your arm, the shoulder can stay down, the arm can lift by itself. How about if you take that arm behind you and then turn it in and out? So we're doing that internal and external rotation behind you. How's that shoulder doing there? Does it have to roll forwards? Can it stay open and down? So this is really good for shoulder stability, obviously, and strength. Let's try the other side. So again, holding onto your block or your book, whatever you've got, lifting and lowering your arm and seeing if you can keep your shoulder relaxed. Are you trying to use your neck and your shoulder to do this work? How about if you bring it in front? Can you still keep it relaxed and down in front? Good. Alright, how about if you take it behind and again do that turning in and out, internal and external rotation. Try and keep that shoulder down. So what we don't want is that shoulder kind of rolling forwards. All right. Going back to your first side. This time you're going to balance your block or your book on your hand. Keeping those shoulders down. We're going to bring that arm on that block across and then out to the side. So it's still that internal and external rotation. Shoulder stays down. Okay. Can you take that block out to the side and then follow your thumb? We're going to start to lift that block up towards the ceiling. Can you bring it over your head, around the front, and then under your arm, without dropping it, back to your start position. So think about following your thumb. We're going to go out to the side. It's going to go up, overhead, come around to the front, out to the side, and can you follow your thumb to bring it under your arm and back to your start position. Do one more time. And again, something with a little bit of weight to it makes it slightly easier. Let's reverse it, go the other way. So follow your little finger this time. So you're going to go through and under your arm first, out to the side. It's going to come around the front, over your head, and around. Do a couple more, following the little finger side. So really good for shoulder mobility. Try the other side, so balancing your book or your block on the other side when you're ready. And again, just bringing that arm in and out first. Trying to keep your shoulder relaxed. And then again, we're going to follow the thumb. So as you go out to the side, taking it behind, up and overhead, bringing it forwards. Ooh. And then can you come through? Do that a couple more times. You always have obviously one side better than the other. Notice how much you're having to move your body to get around tight shoulders. Again, your body's very clever and it will just make room for the lack of shoulder mobility. So just notice. And then follow the little finger side, so go the other way. One side, maybe better than the other. Or maybe both sides are equally rubbish. It's a bit of fun. Alright, coming to rest in centre. So just keep your ribs relaxing down now. Hold your block, your book, whatever you've got in front. And we're going to do like that log pull over. You're going to take your arms up towards the ceiling and then bring them back down again. So I want you to have a little soft elbow. Elbows are kind of drawing in towards each other rather than flaring out to the side. So kind of think about pulling those elbows in towards each other. And you're only lifting as high as you can keep your ribs down. So if your ribs start to go, then don't go any higher. Again, this is working with the mobility of your shoulder joint. So as you take your block up overhead, notice whether your shoulders are going up. Can you drop your shoulders down? So it's just the arms that are moving, yeah? Good. 2 more. And then as you lower your arms down this time, I'm going to take it behind your back. I'm going to hold on to it. And it's like you're trying to pull it apart. So can you pull it apart? And you can feel as you're trying to pull apart, your shoulder blades are probably coming together in your back. Keeping the ribs down, can you lift your arms behind you? And lower down. Do that again. Pulling your block, your cushion, whatever you've got apart, shoulder blades are going to come together. And we're going to lift and lower. Do that one more time. Pull it apart. And lift and lower. Can you just have your hands resting lightly on the sides now, depending on what you're holding on to, but rather than gripping it, can you just hold your palms at the side? And can you lift here? So you probably won't go as far. Let's have a little soft elbow. Can you lift and lower here? 2 more. Last one. And then as you lower down this time, give your shoulders a little shake. Pop your block whenever you've got to the side. Give them a little shake. Let's do some shoulder rolls again here. And reverse, let's go the other way. Let's do some head turns. Alright, just getting rid of any tension that we were holding on to there. We're going to do reverse prayer hands now. Bring the backs of your hands together. Get your thumbs to touch. Pulling your thumbs away from the rest of your fingers and trying to keep the backs of your hands connected. Can you lower your hands down so that your forearms are parallel to the floor? Can you keep the backs of the hands together? Notice if your fingertips are digging into your chest. Can you think about turning your hands out so that your fingers are going to point more towards the ceiling than in towards your chest? Maybe. And just hold it here. Couple of deep breaths. Notice if those shoulders are rounding forwards. Can you relax the shoulders down? And then really gently let go. Give your fingers a little wriggle. Give your wrists a little twirl around. Okay. We're going to do our prayer hands behind our back. So we are going to bring the hands together in that normal prayer position. But can you do that behind your back? So you've got hands together behind your back. Can you roll your shoulders and chest open? Hold it here. Couple of breaths. Notice whether you have had to lift your ribs to make space for your hands to get there. Can you drop your ribs down? How about, can you take your feet a little bit wider? Keeping your hands behind your back. Can you hip hinge? And come back up. Keep going. Keeping those hands together. We're going to step one leg forwards. And hip hinge here. Two more. Can you switch legs? Take the other leg forwards. Keeping those shoulders open, don't let them round forwards. Two more. Last one. And coming up. Gently, gently release your hands. Let them go. Give them a shake. Center your shoulders. Alright, we're going to take one hand up and we're going to drop it down behind your head, down your back. Take your other hand and see if you can grab your opposite fingers. This dog this morning. Alright, hold in there. Couple of breaths. Release. Try the other side. It might be different. Maybe you can grab your fingers on one side and not the other. Freddie! Hey! Shh! A few more breaths here. And then we're going to release. Arms out to the side. Let's roll those arms in and out. Can you do opposites? Keep going, side to side. Couple more, and then when you're ready, just give everything a little shake out and you're done.